Imagine you're walking through a college campus. Smart, confident, you know who you are, you've got plans, you've got a future. Then someone walks up to you. Friendly, warm, they invite you to dinner. Just dinner. 3 months later, you've quit school, donated your savings, cut off your family, and you believe with your whole heart that the outside world is trying to destroy you. What happened? You didn't go crazy. You didn't get drugged. Nobody put a chip in your brain. You got recruited. And the scariest part, you never saw it coming, because nobody does. Today, we're going to go through exactly how cults take perfectly normal, perfectly intelligent people and completely rewire them from the inside out. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you will never look at certain situations the same way again. Let's get into it. First, let's kill the biggest myth right now. You probably have a picture in your head of who joins a cult. Someone lost, someone broken, someone a little out of touch with reality. Maybe someone who was already a little strange to begin with. That picture is completely wrong. Research shows that most cult members come from middle-class backgrounds and are highly intelligent with no history of mental illness before joining. And here's something even more surprising. Cults actually avoid recruiting people with clinical depression. Why? Because depressed people are harder to mold. They're already in their own world. They don't respond as well. What cults want are sharp, functional, driven people. People with energy. People who believe in things. People who commit fully when they find something meaningful. In other words, your best qualities are exactly what makes you a target. So if they're not looking for broken people, what are they looking for? They're looking for a moment, and this is the part nobody talks about enough. There is no single type of person who joins a cult, but there is a type of moment. Your ability to resist manipulation drops dramatically when you're rushed, stressed, uncertain, lonely, fatigued, or going through a major life change. A breakup, a move to a new city, failing an exam, losing a job, the death of someone close. Cults don't wait for a certain kind of person, they wait for a certain kind of moment. And the terrifying thing is, those moments come for all of us. Every single one of us. Nobody floats through life in a constant state of confidence and clarity. The cult is patient. They find you at your lowest point, when your defenses are down, when you're searching for something, and that's when they make their move. And that move has a name. It's called love bombing. You get invited to dinner, or a meeting, or a retreat, and from the second you walk in, you are showered. Warmth, laughter, eye contact, hugs, people who genuinely seem to care about you. People who say things like, "I feel like I've known you forever," within hours of meeting you. For someone who just moved to a new city and doesn't know anyone, this feels incredible. For someone going through a breakup, this feels like being rescued. And the thing is, it is real in the moment. The people doing it have been trained to do it. Some of them don't even know they're doing it. They genuinely believe in what they're selling. But here's what former members consistently report. The moment you're fully in, the moment you've given money or cut off a relationship or moved into their community, the warmth starts to disappear. The love bombing was a recruitment strategy, and once the recruit is secured, the strategy changes. The door was warm and welcoming, but once you're inside, it locks behind you. Now let's talk about how they keep you. Because getting someone through the door is one thing. Making them stay is the real science. Step 1 is exhaustion. This is one of the most documented and disturbing tactics. In certain cults, members have reported working up to 21 hours a day, 7 days a week, prayer, recruitment, fundraising, group activities, internal meetings from the moment you wake up until the moment you collapse. And this is not accidental, this is deliberate. When your brain is exhausted, your critical thinking shuts down. You become, essentially, cognitively drunk. Things that would normally trigger a red flag don't register. Doubts that would normally demand answers get pushed aside because you simply don't have the mental energy to pursue them. When cognitive resources are depleted, members become increasingly dependent on group thinking and leader directives rather than their own judgment. You stop thinking for yourself not because you've been convinced to stop, but because you are physically too tired to do it. But exhaustion is just the beginning, because even a well-rested person might start asking questions. So cults deal with that too. They give you a new language. Every cult develops its own internal vocabulary. Words that only members understand. Words that sound normal but have completely different meanings inside the group. Common words get redefined. New terms get introduced for experiences, emotions, outsiders, doubt. And here's why this is so insidious. Language isn't just how we talk. language is how we think. The words available to us shape the thoughts we're able to form. Once you only understand the world in the cult's language, you literally cannot think outside their system. There are no words for it, the vocabulary to question them doesn't exist inside your head anymore. This is called loading the language, and it is one of the most effective forms of mental control ever documented. But what happens when a doubt does manage to form? What if, despite the exhaustion and the new vocabulary, something inside you goes, "Wait a minute, something feels off here"? Cults have a solution for that too. It's called thought stopping. Members are taught specific techniques, a phrase, a mantra, a prayer, a chant, something to repeat the moment a critical thought begins to emerge. The technique is simple. The moment doubt appears, you repeat the phrase over and over until the doubt disappears. So your own brain becomes the security guard. You don't need someone watching you every second. You've been trained to silence yourself. The thought never gets to finish forming. It never gets to ask the full question. It gets interrupted every single time until eventually it stops trying. And here's something that will genuinely surprise you. Cults don't use the same pitch on everyone. Like the most effective sales organizations in the world, cults adjust their recruitment approach to match the specific personality and needs of each individual prospect. They observe you before they approach. They identify what you're looking for: community, purpose, truth, adventure, family, and then they present themselves as exactly that thing. There is no single speech, there is a personalized one built just for you, which means the version of the cult you joined might look slightly different from the version your fellow member joined. You both walked through different doors into the same trap. Now here's something interesting about who they find. Research has found that many people recruited into cults had previously encountered mainstream religion at some point in their lives and rejected it. This makes sense when you think about it. People who've walked away from traditional religion are often still searching, still spiritually curious, still open to something that feels more authentic, more exclusive, more meaningful. Cults position themselves as the thing that traditional religion couldn't be: deeper, more real, less corrupt, the truth that the mainstream doesn't want you to find. For someone who's spent years feeling like something was missing, this is an incredibly powerful pitch. Now, at some point, members start to feel something is wrong. Not all of them, but some. And what happens when they try to leave? Here's the thing. There's usually no physical lock, no cage, nobody preventing you from walking out the door, but they've done something much more effective than that. They've made the outside world terrifying. From day one, members are told that the outside is dangerous, corrupt, evil, full of people who don't understand, who will laugh at you, who will try to pull you back into your old broken life. Once dependency is established, members develop a growing dread of losing the group's psychological support. The control operates through deception, dependency, and dread. Think about what leaving actually means after years inside. Your money is gone, your old friendships have been cut, your family thinks you changed. The only people who know you now are inside the group. The only community you have is the cult. Leaving doesn't just mean leaving a group. It means losing your entire world and rebuilding completely from scratch. Alone. The cult doesn't need to lock the door. Your own fear does it for them. And here's the thing that should genuinely unsettle you. The techniques cults use to do all of this are not exotic. They're not secret ancient rituals invented in some basement somewhere. According to Stanford psychology professor Philip Zimbardo, cult mind control uses the exact same principles of social influence that are used on all of us every single day. Conformity, framing, emotional manipulation, peer pressure, reward, and punishment. The difference is not the tools, the difference is the intensity, the persistence, the duration, and the total scope of control. Every technique a cult uses exists somewhere in normal life. The cult just takes it to the absolute extreme and applies it to every single area of your existence at once, which means the line between a high-control group and normal social influence is not a wall, it's a dial, turned all the way up. So what do you do with all of this? The researchers who have spent decades studying cults say the same thing consistently. Knowledge is the protection, not confidence, not intelligence, not strength, knowledge, because the smartest people in the world have been recruited. The strongest people have stayed. The most confident people have handed over everything they had. But people who understood the tactics, who could name love bombing when they felt it, who recognized thought stopping when it was being installed in them, who knew what loaded language sounded like, those people had a fighting chance. You don't need to be suspicious of everyone. You don't need to be paranoid. You just need to know what to look for, and now you do. My name is Matt, and thank you for watching.